Shalom, shalom. So this is Ingram Spark. The website is ingramspark.com, ingramspark.com. So you're going to create an account, then you're going to have to go verify the email, and then you're going to be able to log in. So after you log in, this is the page that it will look like. And on the left side, there's a little slide out menu. So you're going to hit titles on the slide out menu. And on the top right, you can hit add title. And I already went through this. I messed up the video a couple different times. So I'm just going to use this one that I already did. So this is the page that will come up when you go to add a title. You can just type in the book name. It's not going to matter because you're not publishing it publicly. So you can put it in whatever you want. It's just for your list of books, okay? So this little red asterisk means you have to have it. So fill that in with whatever you want. Then put this in English, obviously. And then here, this number is already here, but for you, it's going to be blank, and there's going to be two buttons here. You're going to want to assign a non-distributable SKU number, and you click that, and then you up here, there's going to be a little box that pops up. You're going to hit yes, I want a non-distributable SKU number. Then I suggest highlighting this number and just copying it for now so that we can use that later. And then no artificial intelligence. And then you can just put, as you see for the author, I put Butch. It doesn't matter. Again, you're not putting it on a database like Amazon or anything like that for people to search by author or anything like that, because you're just making a book for you to print. And this little imprint, it has an asterisk by it, so you have to have it. So the imprint name is displayed as the publisher on most retail sites. So this obviously is not going to matter if whatever you put this as. Okay. And you just pick a genre. Again, it doesn't matter because you're not putting it online. And when we did this on KDP, we did 8.5 by 11. Now, the PDFs you're working with might be different. You might need to send them to me so that I can try to figure that out for you if you want. And then you're going to just do color. And as you see here, there's more options for color than KDP has. So they have an ultra premium color. I have no idea how much this costs. So, and then you're gonna do. I'm just gonna do color 50 for this tutorial, and then paperback, perfect bound, and then gloss. If you like that glossy look on your cover, or if you like it to be like a flat color, you can do the mate. These two things do not matter. The duplex enable, it makes it to where it can print on the inside of the cover of your book. I think it costs extra. I'm not quite sure. These two, you don't need these two check marks. As you see, it don't have the little red asterisk next to it. So I'm going to just work with what I've got here. I'm going to put 38. You could put 500. How many ever pages your PDF is. So you're going to want to open up your PDF, and scroll all the way down and see how many pages there is. More or less, it's probably going to be like, you see how on the bottom right, it's showing me how many pages there are. If you do that, because the page number here might be actually less than the amount of pages, because some of the pages in the beginning might not be being counted. So then you want to get that exact number of pages and insert it here. And used to, just a couple of weeks ago, there was a little thing that would rotate right here and it would pop up your estimated price for the book, but they seem to have done away with this. So that's a unfortunate. So that's a downside. And here is where you're going to put your PDF. And I'm just doing this how to feast one for the tutorial's sake. And then the cover. Okay. So here you want to go ahead and hit save and exit. And so basically you're pretty much done with the book side of it. You got to go and do a cover to finish. So to do a cover, it's a little different than KDP, but I'm going to walk you through it. On the left-hand side, do the little slide out menu and go to Tools and Preferences. And then under File Creation Tools, the second option here is Cover Template Generator. Okay. And here's where we're going to paste that number I had you copy. So you paste that in, and it's basically it's going to fill the rest of these out. Once you just kind of click off to the side, it'll fill out most of the information that you already had in your book. So you're going to go down here to File Type, and you're going to hit PDF. And then you're just going to type in your email address, and don't worry about these two boxes, and then hit Submit. Then it's going to send it to your email. Okay. And of course, I closed my email link out. So once you get your email up, you got to look for your Ingram Spark email. And for me, this is it says generator Ingram Spark cover template. So you're going to click on that. You're going to scroll down, and you're going to download this onto your computer. And I like to click on where it's at, and I like to rename it. I'm just going to say template. I'm just going to name it template, and I'm going to even drag it to my desktop right here because I don't have very much on my desktop, and it makes it easier for me to find it. So whatever's easiest for you, it doesn't necessarily have to be your desktop. Okay. And now we're going to go to this website. It is www.canva.com/PDF-editor/. And I'm going to put the links for this in the video description, so you don't necessarily have to write it down if you don't want to. All right, so on this site, you're going to hit Upload PDF right here in the middle. It's this little purple button, okay? And we're going to go navigate to where you saved that file. For me, it's the desktop. I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to hit Open. And now Canva is going to open it up. And while Canva is doing that, I'm going to go to another website that I'm going to put in the link of the description called freepick.com. And let's say you were going to do like herbs. And let's say this is kind of a cool little picture. I'm going to say, well, real quick before I do that, you see these little crowns here? That means they're premium. You got to pay for those images. If you go to the left and you just click free, it'll cut out all premium images. And you can see that there's several different types of things for you to work with. So for the sake of the video, I'm going to click on this one up here that I saw. It looked kind of cool. And I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and hit download. And I'm going to click on this little this little down arrow, and click on the original. Make sure it's the original because that's the biggest file size. And there it went. So I'm going to also move this to my desktop so I know where it's at. Okay. So now we're going to go back to the template on the Canva website. Okay. And this is what your PDF loaded up as. So KDP just uses an image. It's kind of got its own little thing. You can just use an image, but their cover, the way they do covers is a little bit more complex on Ingram Spark. So on the left side, if you hit Uploads, and then go to this little purple button that says Upload Files. And then, and for me, sorry, I went a little faster. I hit Show All Files for me. I don't know if yours does that. We probably have different operating systems, but, and then we click on the file that I found and downloaded, and then you see here it's loading up. Once it's done loading up, it'll get a little button, like a little check mark you can do. So just click on it, and it will throw it into the editor here. And you see this blue outline. You want your image to go all the way covering the blue, okay? And so I'm just going to do that real quick. And as you see, it's stretching the image to make it fit. So I'm just going to cover up the blue. And one thing I kind of do too is like, I'll go to my search and type in like mag and look at the magnifier. And I can kind of zoom in and make sure there's no like little blue around it, you know. because I mean, I don't have super eyes. I may be young, but I still can't really see this too well. So, so with this image is there now, I'm going to hit text here on the left, and I'm just going to hit add a heading, and it's going to put this in here. And I'm going to just say book title. And to change the color of this font, I just double click to select all of it. You can just hit this little A right here, and you can just kind of change it to white or whatever. And you see how this text, it doesn't have any outline around it. So it's a little hard to see, it's not defined. If you hit effects right here, you can go to outline. This is, I mean, there's different features here, but I kind of like the outline the best. I feel like it really helps. And so this little color box here, click on that and make it black, and you can adjust the thickness. So you look on the right hand side now, watch where it says book title, and you can see how you can kind of adjust it and get it to where it looks way more legible without having the outline, right? So Canva, the free version of Canva is what we're using here, and it's just the website. I didn't have to create a login or anything like that. There is a lot of there's so many different fonts. So in a sense, this is quite more powerful than the KDP method, because you can really get in here and find different fonts and pick out your own little style for this book. You can get fancy with it. You're just gonna have to stay away from these little crowns, of course, because that's your pro stuff. And I'm just gonna click this. So now that you've got the point there with that. So something I like to do to help me stay on track with where I'm at is slide. There's this little bar right here in the center of this image, and you can slide it down. And so now I can see these blue bars right on either side, so I know exactly where my font is being placed. Okay. So what I like to do is, okay, this happens too. All right. So you see how I have the little, that little icon that shows up where your mouse changes to show that you're going to type. Is that little bar? It looks like an eye. If you're stuck on that, just click off to the side. Sometimes double click over here, and then you can move it again. So basically, you see how there's this purple or reddish purple line that's kind of come there. That's showing me that I am lined up, and I think that box that shows up there is also showing me that I'm lined up in the center of the page. So that right there is your center. And then if you click on the text itself and hit this little plus, it will duplicate it, and you can slide it sideways and drag it over here to the center. Now with the center, it has the same thing. You can see how I moved it up a little bit, and there's like a dotted line going through the center of it, going up and down, and there's a dotted line going left and right as well. That's showing me that I'm centered with the spine, and I'm centered with the book itself. So obviously this is a little too big, because it has to be within the confines of the blue on either side. And this might be a good opportunity to type in the magnifier again if you know how to use this, and kind of just see. You can see here that none of these, and I could even go a little bigger if I wanted to make, you know. So you just want to make sure your text, see that how that K is actually it's going into the blue. So you want to make sure that none of your text is going into the blue, and that it's centered. So you want the two dotted lines going up and down and left and right. And then if you're having a hard time with it, just make it a little smaller. It's not too big of a deal. There you go. Or you might try a different font as well. And know too, when you zoom in, it will look a little bit more like, what's the word? It will look more pixelated. Now you see here, I changed this to Copper Gothic here, and it actually, this text seems to be a little bit longer. So you might try a different font that looks a little bit better on the spine. And then you're gonna just slide this guy back up, and then you can go to uploads, and let's say you have different images. You can download other images if you'd like. And let's say if I wanted to put a menorah on here, and put some fire on it. This is something I did on a different one. And you see how this fire is actually in front of the menorah. You can right click on it and go to layer here and send it backwards. And what this send backwards does, it just drops it behind the current image that it's over. So now you can see that it kind of looks like that. So you can see here, you can get a pretty decent little feel for a cover. So like, let's say I don't like that image and I want to work with something a little bit different. And you see how this is over the images I had. You can also go to layer and send this to the very back. Send to back means, well, I guess you don't want to send it to back. So we're just going to bring this forward. Let's see here, bring it forward. All right, so all right, Control Z is if you have mistakes. So now you see how that kind of happened to me. I'm just going to try to send it back instead of sending it all the way to the back. Send it backwards. There you go. One more time, send it backwards, and that covered that. Okay. So I hope that didn't confuse you. So now you see, like, if you make a mistake, just do Control Z, and that will take you back. And you may have to do it a few times if you did too many moves. And you can see here, I'm just throwing in a different image. And the reason I'm doing this is to kind of give you an idea of what it may look like, or if you wanted to change the image. Now you can see this title looks a little bit easier to, to read. And as you see, my little thing was off there. But yeah, okay, so I think you understand what I'm getting at there. So just as you're done, go to download right here. And then you're going to go to PDF printing and then flatten PDF and then hit download. And what flatten does, it just takes all of these layers that I did, the text layers and the image layers, and it flattens it all into one thing. And then this part can take a second. What it does here is it downloads. And then when it's download, it'll pop up in your downloads and it'll save it to your computer. So this part can take 5 minutes, something like that. So I'm going to stop the video and restart it when it's done. As you see, it just got done. So it was downloading it. And again, I don't know if your browser quite shows it like this. You might have to go to File and find your downloads and all that. And this most likely goes to your downloads folder. As you see, mine says downloads. Again, I'm going to drag mine to my desktop so I can find it a little easier. And that first one I named template. So I'm going to rename this one as my cover. So I know the difference between the two. But mainly you can see one has the .pdf extension listed at the end of it. Okay. And then we're going to go back to ingramspark and we're going to go back to your titles from this little slide out menu. And then you're going to click on the title that you were working with. And then you're going to scroll down to the bottom and just hit continue. And then this uploading your print interior is the book itself, your PDF, right? And we already did that earlier, at least I did. And then, so if you didn't do it, you need to do that now. And then for print cover, we're just going to select that cover that I just made, my cover PDF. Okay. And that goes fairly quick. And this next part is like a verifying. So it goes to search and see if there's any kind of errors, any contradictions, and what's, any of the setup files, settings for the setup that you did throughout the whole thing, if anything's wrong with it, or if the fonts aren't embedded in the file or something like that. So if you have any problems in this section, just let me know and I'll do whatever I can to help you get through that part. And as you see, since mine was a relatively small file, this PDF that I put in here is only 38 pages. It went fairly quick. The more pages, the longer this part takes. Okay. And when it's done, just hit continue. And then it kind of calculates this little thing over here. It still doesn't tell you the price. I don't know why they did that. It's really a shame that they got rid of that feature for the price. So yeah, then you just say, I authorize this. And then you complete submission. Then this is going to go to a page that says you got to wait 3 to 5 days and they'll send you an email. So it's a little bit of a process. Then once you get the email, you click on it and it should, it'll have you log in. And it should bring you to a page that looks kind of like this one. This one here is waiting for approval. So I'm going to hit approve so I can show you. And when it comes up, you'll see that you can download a proof. You can look at it, all this, see what you think of how it looks. And then you just click this first one here. After review, please select a proof of action. So select this Rosenstengel approves. This is mine. So yours might say your last name or whatever you use to fill it out. And then I prefer to do this, send confirmation to, and type in your email. And so when you hit continue, when this is done doing its little part, it'll tell you, hey, we approved this. Okay. So there's that. I'm just going to go ahead and do this for my sake. Okay. I'll just do this one. I think that might be a colored one. I'm not sure. I don't actually have a colored one in here that's finished. So I can't show you a price point. But this is the Aramaic Peshitta. Here's something to know too, is once it's done, it'll go from like finished setup or whatever to place order. And then you can place the order. And it'll pull up. This PDF is 1,100 pages. And if I change it to the lowest shipping here, it says that it comes out to be $29.02 with the shipping and the tax. So that's not too bad considering this book is out of print, and to get one of these is over $200. And I believe that this is a soft cover of this one. I think I tried to do this in the hardcover with color, and it was like 55, and I think without color it was like 50. So I think the colored one on this would probably be about 35 or so. And that's at 50. Remember earlier I showed you the different color scheme, just to go over this again real quick. And that was at the lowest color quality that they had, the price point that I told you. So this one right here, color 50. So that extra $5 might be more for something like this. So if this turns out to not necessarily be the best option for you, if you want to do a 500-page book on KDP, you can do that. So it's definitely KDP does up to 800 or so. Yeah, about 820 I think is the max. But yeah, so let me know if you need any help. I will add all of these links in the description of the video. And I am sorry that this video is a little lengthy, but it takes a little bit more time to explain this than it does KDP. So again, if you need any help, let me know. Shalom, shalom.